Good morning, Candace. Indeed. In greetings upon you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me, for sharing the space with me. Goodness, the number five has been reoccurring. Like, as soon as I joined, there's five friends here in the space with me. The little timer just ticked over five as I, took my phones to come and stream. 1555. I've seen 55 maybe like seven times today, through the course as well. And I just feel very in sync. I'm happy to be in this moment with you, to be seeking self in this moment with you. Like goodness, we are looking for something, right? All of us is looking for something. And what we don't realize is that something that we're looking for is ourself. Universe confirmation is fun. It really is. It really is, Candace. The synchronicities are always beautiful. Hmm. Let's find something worth saying, shall we? Hey, Jackson, spam and refresh. Thank you, brother Babe. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me. Genuinely, having you here is a blessing. I tried to set up a bot again to get notifications going, and they're working on Haywire Hill, but I like got into it and then it for some reason irked me. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I really have been withdrawing a little bit from the social medias, or at least all of the stuff that come along with it. Maybe I'm just seeking self. Maybe I'm trying harder to seek self. There is within each of us a spark of divine light as a sunbeam to the sun. Your experience is always the effect of where you choose to focus the attention of your consciousness. For you, as an infinite being, have chosen to participate in a form of experience, and what you experience, you have directly and deliberately called to yourself. It is seriousness within the mind that is the creation of ego, and I come forth to meet you wherever you are because I have chosen to use the infinite power of consciousness given me of the of the infinite as equally this is given unto you. Infinite beings, friends. Infinite. You are an infinite being. Infinite awareness, infinitely eternal. But you had to choose. You had to make some decisions. You had to make some sacrifices when you came to this plane of existence. Sacrifice number one, gravity. Can you see this? A little bit, maybe. I have some, like a single grapefruit again that I've squeezed. It's like maybe, maybe 20 mils of juice. And I went into some research. Fortunately, the sugars are pretty complex and there's not a lot of them. So it won't kick me out of my fast. And I also took a little bit of the peel and juiced it with the rest of the juice just to get some extra flavor noise, get some electrolytes into my body. I'm on day 4 of my fast, so I'm trying to take care of myself in that way. Okay, so the idea I want to bring to you, friends, today is this one of the musk goat, it's called. And this musk goat is basically, it goes through its juvenile period of life and then it develops a musk gland, a scent that it emits from its own body. And this goat is called the musk goat because it gets so frantic about trying to find wherever this smell is coming from that they literally throw themselves off cliffs. They run, trying to find wherever the smell is coming from, and they throw themselves off of cliffs, seeking themselves, seeking that which they already are. There's a little spooder man on my leg. Oh no, I'm so sorry, dude. I mean, look at the size of this dude. Very small, and upon me trying to get him off of me, unfortunately, my oath hands crushed him. I'm sorry, little dude. Anyway, seeking the self. And it's so crazy to me that that is literally what we've been doing as humanity with the arts, with sciences, with spirituality. All of these are different practices in trying to seek the self, trying to find the true essence of what you are, where you are, why you are. And the thing is, like, we feel like there should be some sort of, concrete answer. Like, okay, I'm gonna find this answer, and then upon finding this answer, I'm going to be completely satisfied, and then I'm done. But the finding of the self is something that's continual. It's something that never actually stops. You know, like the self cannot know the self in completion unless you become completely united again. And because we're in this limited form of existence, you know, we, as I said, we had to make these agreements. One of them being to confide to gravity, the other being to forget. And it's crazy to me because as I was trying to say this, I forgot about it. I forgot about it again. We came here to forget. We had to forget. Otherwise, we would know too much. You know, we would have a competitive advantage. Oh, goodness, that's so bitter. Okay, wait a second. I need to read some words. We have committed to the property 6 acres, and we're going to start clearing a spot for our tent and move on into it within the next few days. That's amazing, Candace. Like, please do send us photos if you're willing to. When you come to visit the US, we have a room for you to hang out. I don't need much. I don't need much, Candace. You know, you get me a stretcher and a blanket, and I'll be like, oh shit, I can sleep here because I sleep with my eyes closed. This is something I really like to say because I don't need much. I really do not need much. And then I'll go to a friend's place. You know, like Christian was the last friend I went to, and he's like apologizing profusely about things being this way or that way, and I'm like, bruh, calm down. I sleep with my eyes closed. I don't need much. You know, I'll be fine. So thank you. I'll take you up on that offer, Candace. Congrats. Electrolytes help so much. They do. You know, and I do the same thing. I like take teaspoons of salt. I take teaspoons of cream of tartar. And you're like, why would you do that, Melt? Cream of tartar is basically potassium in a powder form, and it's significantly cheaper than buying pills. So I just a whole spoon of white powder in my mouth, and then I swallow it with water. It's good to take care of yourselves, especially if you're fasting. Playing a video game, knowing the rule book and cheats wouldn't be fun. Exactly. I mean, to some people it is, but it's only temporarily fun until you realize that you're no longer playing the game. You're no longer actually playing the game if you know all of the rules, if you know all of the cheat codes, as Candace said. But ironically, I feel one of the biggest cheat codes is just to bring yourself back to your awareness, to yourself, to the very thing that we all are, aware, genuinely aware of where we are, you know, at least in this very moment. Like, oh, I know that I'm in this part of the world. You know, you can say that, right? And you're aware of where you are in the world. And you might be aware I live in South Africa, and I'm aware that I live in South Africa, right? So on that level, we already have that sense of awareness. And then that awareness goes deeper and deeper and deeper to the point where you realize that no matter where you find yourself in space or time, it's still the same awareness. It's the exact same awareness to know that you are self, genuine self. And it's trippy. It's trippy because we don't want to accept the power that we have. We don't want to realize that we are that self. You know, every single being in the universe that identifies as this is myself. He identifies as you. He identifies as you. Teddy has come to the wall of I know this is a game. I'm aware of myself. Now what? Why did I get woke? The same time, manifestation is still as slippery and elusive as an eel. So the thing is, Candace, in this realm of existence, manifestation is a real thing. It just takes a lot longer in this game, like in the games we play on our computers, you know, you press a few buttons, your character does, you know, like 3 bench presses, and then he gains a little point of improvement or whatever. Where it's the exact same thing in this game. You know, if you don't do a few bench presses, you're going to get stronger. But the thing is, because it's not as immediate as we find it in our games or in our imaginations, like we have the ability to instantly manifest things in our imaginations. I believe that's mind. We'll return to mind, return to self, ultimate self, and in that space, manifestation is the only way. Oh, I want something. Oh, here it is. In this world, it's the exact same thing. It just takes a lot longer. We had to commit to time and space as well. I think that's the third rule. And time and space, you know, gets influenced a lot slower because it's a lot more to move, let's say it that way. When it comes to matter and light, light is very easy. You can communicate so much. Everything. Just look around you. Look around you. What you're seeing right now is being communicated to you with light. And as fast as you can look somewhere, that light flies into your eyeballs and communicates to you what is there, right? But in this physical realm, in this neat world, things don't happen as fast. And that's okay. That's why we're here. So it can actually have a sense of things happening. Think about what I just said. Like when we find ourselves in ultimate self, it's almost like things don't have the luxury of happening. Or, yeah, you know what? I'll stick with what I just said. Because things are so immediate, things are so fast, things are so ceaseless, then you almost don't even get a chance to appreciate it before it's gone, before it gets you folded back into the rest of it. And it's so insane that we, have these anticipations, these expectations of this world coming from that space, expecting it to be the same when we've chosen for it not to be the same. We didn't want it to be the same. And we're pushing closer and closer to it being kind of like that with our brain computer interfaces, AI coming along as well. We're going to be able to have that immediacy while being physical beings as well. And a part of me feels like that is an amazing opportunity. It's so cool that we're going to get to have almost both sides of the coin while being bipedal physical human beings. Like I feel like it's pretty cool. I think it's an awesome part of this existence. An awesome part of where we are in time and space right now as well. Discovery of self. Discovery of self. The space in between breaths. Oh goodness, the world is going to be so weird. I look forward to it. We've been manifesting this property for 4 years. 4 years in the context of infinitum. Just thinking about how old our universe is. 4 years sounds pretty quick, like instant almost to me, Candace. I have manifested money or a trinket faster than other things. Bob Proctor, Alan Watts, Neville Goddard all make a great point. Manifesting a penny is just as easy as manifesting a boat. Like what? Like the recent thing that I've manifested is world peace and enough for all. That's all I want. World peace, all of us living in harmony, all of us living in peace with one another, and enough for all. There is already enough for all. It's just about distribution at this point. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. Hey, I think I just saw Naomi. Thank you for joining me, my friend. I need to say hi to our artists as well first. No need for notifications, as it's a part of our schedule now. Jackson, thank you, my brother Vay. It's so nice to hear that. Fortunately, since I have a schedule, if you want to be here, you know where to find me. And I appreciate you finding me, friend. Thank you for joining us as well. Shannon, Jovan saying, have you ever felt like you've done this before? Hi, friends. Oh, all the time, Jovan. Like I've been recently tripping out a little bit about that kind of in the context of I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing because I've done it before and I know how doing it another way wasn't serving me. I was reading Saint's book today. Like I got it yesterday. I got to page like 33 today. It was amazing. It was so amazing, and I was sitting and I was so present. And he kind of like mentions fidgeting or something like that, and I see my like leg rocking back and forth as I'm reading the book, and I stop. I'm like, damn it, Sensei is calling me out. You either give in or push and flow. And then I realize I have to do a stream to thank the Patreon friends, and I like, okay, let's get up, go do the stream. Had an amazing session, dancing a little bit. It is it is kind of weird weather today, where it's extremely humid, as you can see, super overcast. It's been overcast for the past 2 days, and it got hot. It got super hot. Man, I'm so happy to be here, friends. Here in this moment with you, here in this world, here to experience the coolness of the air right now. Mm. There are a bunch, like a bunch of burps. Do you see that? Those little specky roonies? Those are a bunch of burps. For some reason, my throat is getting slimy. We call those. I think it might be my juice or my like it's 20 mils of grapefruit juice with 2 liters of water basically. So I don't know if it is that. Maybe. Technically, the reason I drink grapefruit as well is it has compounds in it that make things more bioavailable in your body, which is pretty fascinating. Hmm. World peace is a tricky word phrase. If you want harmony, then we have harmony already. Dark light, yin yang, cold and hot, spring and summer, war and peace, balance. There is balance. That is true. That is true, but it's not actually, if you really think about it, Candace. Because there's a lot more peace, a lot more harmony than there is war. I just want it to be, completely smudged out. There will still be parts of our humanity, parts of our like experiences that won't be necessarily, all light. Like we'll still stub our toes and bleed, and that will be uncomfortable. We'll still, have fallouts of relationships, and that would be devastating. We'll still lose family members, and that will be absolutely traumatizing. But I want our experience of life, our experience of unity, our experience of being here right now to be one of peace and harmony. We can have the other side of the coin when we die, when things die, when things don't work, instead of it being between one another. And I know we can. I know we can, and I believe we are kind of moving into that space as well, where the lost parts of our humanity that was willing to have wars with one another, was willing to have these senses of separation, are now clinging to their separation to the point where they're willing to go and hurt other beings to ensure they stay separate. Ironically, trying to unite, but in separation. Oh, the self. Oh, funny self. For those experiences discomfort, there are those experiencing comfort. All experiences have their counterpart that balance them out. I do agree with that, Candace. I just feel we're at the part in our humanity where we have the technology to not let people needlessly suffer. And listen to what I'm saying, needlessly suffer. Humans will suffer. Literally, me, wanting something can cause me suffering. I really would like if things work out exactly this way. I would, let's say I'm interested in a female. Oh, I'm gonna go and approach this female. I'm gonna go and talk to her. I'm gonna tell her I'm interested in her. And in my idealized desire-based world, she feels the same way. And then upon me having that conversation, upon me sharing my feelings and she doesn't reciprocate, now suddenly I'm suffering, devastated because of this exchange. When not expecting anything, especially not expecting something of another person, is the way that I can free myself in that scenario, where I can live my truth, speak my truth to this person, and not expect her to feel the exact same way. And the very first time I learned that lesson was when I, told my second girlfriend that I loved her, and she didn't want to say it back to me. And like my initial response was one of separation, if you will. And then I was like spending time with that, and I realized I'm expecting something. And expecting something is exactly what separates us from one another. And I apologized and I told her, I'm sorry for expecting you to say the same. I shouldn't. And, like it took months. It took months. But eventually it happened. And ironically, after it happened, like it was like a month before we were no longer together. Because I realized as well that I was in that relationship for the wrong reasons. I was seeking something outside of myself once again. And I couldn't continue it because I knew it wasn't right towards her. And upon her saying that she loved me was when I realized. it's so it's so weird. Life is so weird. Like we keep learning these lessons in so many different ways. And for some reason, I'm I want to call myself a bad student. Maybe maybe not a bad student, maybe a hard-headed student. So life uses these extreme scenarios, experiences to teach me things that I'm supposed to understand. And if I'm not willing to listen to what's going on inside my heart when these things happen in my outside world, if I'm not willing to reference self in trying to find the information that I'm supposed to have, how can I expect to have anything? How can I expect to know anything if I'm not even willing to listen to myself? Sensei made a beautiful point in his book as well, talking about how we trust other people. You know, is it what they're saying? Is it what they're doing? Is it how they carry themselves? Is it what we know about them and their history? You know, thinking about all of that. And then he poses the question of how do you trust yourself then? How do you trust yourself? And I believe the best way to trust yourself is just to be openly aware. Just to be aware to whatever may come, to whatever you may experience, just to be aware. Oh, goodness. It's the only way. Teddy would probably tell you there is no one else. It is just you, and you are the only one in the room. Once you feel peace within you, you have accomplished world peace. I do get that as well, and I do practice that as well, Candace. But I still see suffering. You know, I, 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 I think the biggest problem, and it's not even a problem. Yeah, maybe it is a problem. Is the fact that I want to help. I want to help as much as I can, and I sometimes feel very powerless to be doing as much as I want to. And then I realize that I'm 23 years old and I have time. I have time to manifest the reality that I want. It's gonna take us time, but it's always going to be self. The infinity loops. Hey, Brother Ryan, so nice to have you here, Brother Bear. Thank you for joining us. Dragonborn is joining us as well. Good morning to you, friend. Really been missing spending time with you in the morning already. Been looking forward to the weekends together in this yoga more and more as time passes. I look forward to having you there as well, Jovan. It's been really amazing. Like I feel I'm like today's yoga session especially. I just feel like I'm getting more and more into a flow. You know, the way I move my hands and my arms. Ryan has this thing where he says like you should move your arms like you're combing your energy fields. You know, your auric field, your torus that is extending from your heart, however you want to imagine it. And while I was dancing, I was thinking the exact same thing. You know, the way I move my body and the way I move my arms, I'm combing energy fields, you know, even if it's just my own electromagnetic, you know, energy coming off of my little fingertips, coming off of my little scalp. I am combing these energy fields, influencing the whole just by experiencing my own awareness of the music, of my own body, of movement, of expression. Like, we're capable, friends. We're capable of so much, and we just don't give ourselves credit for it sometimes. Good morning, Lisa. Good afternoon, Isiana. Hello, friends. So grateful to share this amazing space with each one of you in this moment. Namaste. Thank you for joining us. It's so nice to have you here, Lisa. Hey, friends. Can't stay around too long, but I'm glad to be here. I'm waiting for a cake I'm baking to finish, and then I'm heading to the gym. What cake is it? Like, I don't know if you're still here. My brother was baking some chocolate cakes today. Fortunately, my mom didn't strap me with that. Interestingly enough, like I wake up at 11-ish. I'm waking like I'm staying up at like till like 3 a.m. doing yoga courses, and I like wake up at 11-ish, and then I can still kind of sleep. And I walk into the kitchen and I see my brother, and I'm like, what? I tried to figure out if it's a weekend or something. Not seeing the car in the driveway, realizing, asking basically, you know, why are you still here? And it's like, oh, I just didn't want to go to school. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. I was like, oh, all right. So he had to bake cake. Unfortunately, I could, you know, answer some messages, get some homework done, read some book. I really miss the Discord notifications. Why does it not work? It's dead. The bot, the person who made the bot, unfortunately, Lisa, pulled the plug on it. You know, it runs on the servers, and then it basically has a portal where as soon as someone goes live, it sends a prompt of, you know, oh look, this person is live, and then it redirects that prompt to the Discord. And the person who made that whole system pulled the plug on it. There aren't others, but for some reason, I feel intimidated by them. Have a great day. Like I do believe our friends who are mods, you know, have complete power over that. I'm sorry, Lisa. It's nice to have you here, my friend. Have a wonderful day. Hey, Isaac. Good day. How are we feeling? I'm feeling good. Day 4 of the fast is usually the easiest because it's just after you have, completely depleted your glycogen storages. The first 2 days, as you're depleting your glycogen storages, your body is like, bruh, bro, we're running out of sugar. Oh, please give us some sugar. And like, no, dude, relax. How about you eat fat instead? And then it's like, fine. Starts eating fat. So I'm eating fat right now, brother Bear. How are you doing? Can I ask you something? You can ask me anything, friend. Literally, whatever is on your heart, ask away, friend. I'll try and be as honest with you as I possibly can. Frankie Marie, it's so nice to have you here again, friend. Thank you for joining us. How have you been? Enjoying the yoga training, Melt? I am. Yesterday, I felt a little bit impatient, and I was really sitting with that emotion and being present with it as well, and kind of like asking myself, why is it I'm feeling this way? But it's just because I want to learn. Like the slices, if you will, of experience my mind is taking from this reality. I felt like it was taking the same slices over and over again, if I can explain it that way, where we were learning about these yoga poses, and instead of it being like, okay, this is the yoga pose, do this, and like, okay, you're doing it wrong, do it this way instead, okay, good, you got it, let's go into the next yoga pose. It was like, okay, this yoga pose, this is why we do the yoga pose, this is how your body is supposed to move in the yoga pose. And then it was like, instead of it being like, okay, yeah, yoga pose, okay, yoga pose, okay, yoga pose, we did like 3 yoga poses in an hour, or like an hour and a half. And my mind was like, please, I need more information. And then I realized, hey, relax, dude. Calm the fuck down. You don't need that much information. And as soon as I kind of accepted that, I kind of went into poses of my own, kind of centering myself, realizing that I need to calm down, and it helped. Actively practicing that awareness of self, of like, why is it that you're feeling this way? Why is it that you're doing this to yourself? Naomi, oh how such a sweet treat to see your name pop up. Isaac, Lisa, Frankie, Blood Dragonborn, Shannon, Wag, and YouTube friends. Thank you. We have no YouTube friends at the moment, but thank you for saying, your beautiful words to all of our loving friends. You're fun. Golden Locks say, that's what happened when the Prince of Peace, Jesus Christ, will come. I used to be New Age Reiki, and Jesus saved me. I'm happy that you're saved, friend. I'm so happy. I'm very sad that you needed something outside of yourself to save yourself, because that instantly causes separation in my mindset. There's nothing outside of yourself that can technically save you, but if that helps you believe that you are saved, that is exactly what you need in this moment, friend. More for the convenience of one button. Exactly that, Lisa. Not flipping through endless Reddit streams. Agreed on the schedule part. It helps at least. Thank you again, Lisa. I appreciate you being here with us. It irks me as well. It genuinely does. And a part of me feels like there's some things that I need to do in order to keep traffic up and down, the numbers. And then I'm like, you know what? That's not what's important to me. And then I retreat from trying to get the notifications to work because I'm like, eh, I don't need it. Silly of me to not even think of that would be much easier than refreshing like a maniac. Oh, I just stubbed my toe before you said we will still stub our toes. I'm so sorry to hear that, Naomi. It happens. It happens. And like instead of lamenting, and this is the way that I've been doing it. So I used to have a cut, on this thumb. You can see it's completely healed now, but it was pretty wrecked. It was deep, and like I feel like this was okay. So let me tell you, friends, a little bit. I was going through this pattern of like bumping my toes. Like I knocked my shin so hard on a piece of steel while I was in the dark that it like made these lumps on my shin. Like it was wrecked, like literally lumps on my shin, and I had to massage them and add ice packs to them weeks afterwards to get that lump to go away. And it was painful for all of it. And I like during this while this was happening, I would like have these random cuts. I would have mosquitoes bite me, and then I would scratch them in my sleep, opening those wounds. And I was just like feeling so into this experience of I feel so interconnected, I feel so loving. and yet I'm hurting my body, in a like not on purpose, or who knows if it was on purpose or not. Maybe my subconscious is like slapping me around a little bit. And then like I was basically starting with this yoga training, and I was making myself a coffee, and I used the French press, and I wanted to clean the little grounds out of the little gap between where the make a solid piece starts. You know what I'm talking about? And as I was like cleaning the grout out, or ground, coffee out, I cut myself pretty deep on my thumb, and I start laughing. I'm like hysterically laughing at it, because I'm just like, oh, of course, of course, yes. Why not something else as well? And it's genuinely this feeling of, instead of getting angry at getting hurt, I just laugh at the comical nature of me hurting myself, so that I can get into this experience of being human. Stub your toe, and you're like, ugh. Suddenly you're centered, suddenly you're completely present. And even though the means to that presence wasn't necessarily enjoyable or comfortable, you still have that self being so present in that moment. Exactly. What's your favorite food? Oh, dude, right now the first thing coming up into my mind is lasagna. Like, there's a whole thing of lasagna in the fridge, and I'm not eating it right now. And I've been like just craving that lasagna so much. But I think, if I'm gonna answer the question of what's my favorite food in the context of I'm only allowed to eat that one thing for the rest of my life, it would be stir fry, because you can add different meats, rice or noodles, different vegetables, and all of the stuff that you cook stays in one place, so you're not like pouring off water or stuff like that and losing some of the nutrients that might be in your food. So probably stir fry. If I had to eat one thing for the rest of my life, it would be stir fry. How about you, Snokoskop? I believe he said mango or blueberries. Oh goodness. I mean, favorite fruits like yo blueberries. Like yo, yes. That's the thing as well. That's the thing. Like right now, at least the way that I'm gonna break my fast is gonna be in exactly that way, Lisa, where I'm not going to try and eat any potentially bad foods. I'm going to like gorge myself on fruits, yogurt that my sister is making, at home. I'll have some kombucha, and I want to have like a whole spread of fruits like kiwis, mangoes, strawberries, blueberries. Like apple isn't that nutrient dense. Maybe some oranges, definitely some grapefruit juice as well. Like freshly squeezed. That is the way that I plan on breaking my fast. So in that way, like my mind gravitates towards those foods, but I still do enjoy eating other things. Mine is blackberries. What is yours? That sounds amazing. Be hard to pick one. I love the variety, but maybe avocado. Ooh, that's not a bad one actually. Lol, there is no spoon. So, nice to see you, Mel. Nice to see you, Scorpio. There is no spoon, friend. You are the spoon. Like, I'm not even joking. You're the spoon. Like, literally, literally, you're the spoon. You're the means with which you eat. Scooping experience, scooping light out of this universe, scooping sound out of the air, scooping flavor out of mush. You're the one. You're the spoon. You're the experiencer, friend. You're the self, the actual self. No, you're not stubborn, Melt. You know what? No, I'm not stubborn. Thank you, Lisa. Do you work at Trader Joe's? No, I don't, friend. Maybe if I did, I'd be earning a proper salary right now. What are your views on psychedelics? I look at them with a lot of anticipation and intention. Like, but, just to be serious, I do have a very open mindset slash I went through this process of being an extremely depressed individual, and in my teen years, was on a bunch of antidepressants, and they wrecked me, like literally completely ruined my life experience in a way where I couldn't sleep properly, and when I could sleep properly, or I could get to sleep, at like 1 a.m. in the morning, I would wake up by 5 a.m., screaming, literally screaming myself, trying to escape the night terrors. And if not that, I would just wake up in sweat, where I was like just stuck and my body was like shaking and I was just sweating from that. And I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing to myself. Went to the doctor, They tried a bunch of different antidepressants, different ones work in different ways. All of them wrecked me. And he was like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. This stuff don't work for you. Consider weed. My doctor. Like, he was a house doctor, like a GP, I believe they're called, general practitioner. And he was like, bro, try weed. And my dad sit next to me, while he suggests this. And my dad instantly, like, and I'm like, And I start doing my own research. I find out what THC is. I find out what my endocannabinoid systems are. I find out what they do to your, want to eat, your ability to sleep, what other people have suggested, how they've helped them with their depression. And I try it. I tried for the first time and I sleep properly. Like, I genuinely actually have the means to go to sleep and wake up the next morning and feel not like complete ass. And upon being able to sleep properly, I was like, okay, this is new. This is nice. I can kind of deal with this. And I became even more interested in these plant chemicals. If this plant chemical, THC, and CBD, and CBN, and there's like so many of them, can help me experience a proper night's worth of sleep and can give me a sense of self love, a sense of ease in the moment that I'm experiencing it. What else is there? What else is there? What else has this universe created, this earth of ours created, that can help us as human beings? And, the first thing that my mind kind of went to or was drawn to were psychedelic mushrooms. And I was like, well, literally a fungal little body growing out of the ground or out of a cow patty or out of, a substrate. And then you eat this mushroom and then you have an experience, apparently. And the experience you're going to have is one of the serotonistic system. So your brain right now, technically your gut mostly, is producing serotonin. And serotonin, in my opinion, is the molecule that carries information. So if serotonin bonds to your little receptors, it causes them to fire, causing you to experience information from that. And psilocybin is very similar. Like, it's what do you see? It's like a serotonin molecule with a phosphate group on it, and then if you dephosphorylate it with your liver or with like lemon juice, you get psilocin, which is so similar to serotonin. And technically, your brain has an affinity for it, which means that when you take this compound, your brain would rather take up psilocin, than it will take up your own serotonin, which is bonkers in and of its own. And then you experience information because of that. And like, I kind of, intuitively understood that this was something that I needed in my life. I don't like, how could I? I didn't have any references in my normal world. In South Africa is very anti stuff like that, even anti weed. And I made friends who had access to people who knew where to find it. And I had a trip with them, a 2 gram trip with them, and we were watching Doctor Strange. And it was underwhelming because I've heard all of these experiences, these effects of, like, walls melting and, you know people's faces morphing into different creatures, and I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. I would love to experience that. And then I took these 2 grams of mushrooms and nothing. Literally, my world is just my world, but I can look at it with a little bit more intention, and I'm thinking about things, and I'm like, we have this word called redeneer, like reasoning with myself, basically trying to find things within myself that I've understood and reframe them, re-reference them while I'm watching this movie with my friends. And my other friend, took mushrooms with me. He took less than me, and he's like losing it. He's losing it, and then he sees me not losing it, and then he loses it even more. And like, he asked me like 50 times, how are you not losing it as well? And I was like, I don't know, because I'm just here. What's there to lose? What's there to find? And I was like, well, I guess I need to take more. So I got 3 grams, and I like closed my door. I basically told my parents that I was going to meditate, and I need not to be I need not to be disturbed. I took these 3 grams of mushrooms, and I was just basically on my bed for most of it. And around the peak of that experience, I'm laying in my bed. I have my blanket in my hands, and I just have the sense of awe, all for the experience I'm having, all for just being in this moment, having the softness of this blanket with me, having, this bed supporting me, gratitude, and this resounding message comes to me. I am grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to be alive. And after having spent years building this understanding, building this feeling of, I want to die, oh, wouldn't it be great if the world ended? Wouldn't it be great if I genuinely, genuinely, at one point in my life wanted to have a brain tumor so that I can just live my life out, as someone with a brain tumor and then die from this brain tumor eventually. And that was something that I wanted, and it was so counterintuitive. It was so, destructive, where I was like, I want to die, by any means necessary. And eventually I attempted to commit suicide. Fortunately, I got out of that space, having tried, realizing that that is not the way to go as well. But I still wanted to not be here. And then, upon having that experience, upon genuinely saying to myself, I am grateful to be alive, it completely changed my world. It completely changed the way I see myself and the things I want to be doing. And, if more people can have that experience, and the thing is, your experience, if you take psychedelics, is going to be uniquely yours. It's not going to be my experience. But that's exactly what life is. That's just what life is in general. We have gotten so attached to the sense of safety as a society that we see these things as dangerous. Oh, what if this? What if you jump out of a window? What if you, think you can fly, or you think you're indestructible and you walk into traffic? Do you think that, as a normal human being? Probably not. And those things are possible, as they're possible right now as well. You can become disillusioned and believe that now you have gained the superiority over the physical realm, and then try to use your superiority over the physical realm and then get yourself hurt in a completely sober state of mind. I believe they have power. I believe they have potential to help us, especially with the mental health epidemic we're in. Thank you for asking, friend. Thank you for letting me say. It is? Why? Lisa. Anyone who wears a red Hawaiian shirt works at Trader Joe's. Okay. I've never heard that one before. I mean, Trader Joe's probably has like good, taste. I rarely ask for help, but I could use some healing vibes, friends. I am sick. I have not been sick in years, but I'm riding the struggle bus hard. And I'm on my own to take care of Fruit Cup. Any healing vibes are extremely appreciated. Thanks, friends. Okay, I'm seeing like a donut, but from a top view, and instead of it just being complete, it has this slit in it, like almost like a break in the torus. And I think of that break as this, sickness that you're experiencing right now. And the things that are coming to my mind as I saw that, I was just thinking about how technically you being sick right now can be seen as you building antibodies, you building this defense against the outside world. And by building this defense against the outside world and having the opportunity even to take care of Fruit Cup right now, you will be transferring those antibodies to her, making her a stronger, more defensed, if you will, individual as a result of it. We love you. We love you, Eden. Thank you for letting us, send you some good and healing vibes, my friend. I hope you get better. I hope little Fruit Cup knows how much he's loved. They're making fast, difficult lasagna. They're making fast, difficult with lasagna and chocolate cakes. They are, Lisa. Damn it. And like there's not just that, like there's so much, like a banana. Goodness. When I'm fasting, a banana becomes so appealing to me. I'm like, dude, those sugars, them potassiums. Setting healing vibes. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for the love as well, Lisa. Thank you, Jovan. Golden Trunks. How long has it been? I'm a bit embarrassed to admit this, but you were in my dreams last night. You were my neighbor, and we had a water balloon fight. So thank you for that. Why are you embarrassed about that, Fred? That sounds amazing. I would like to have a water balloon fight. It's probably been years. Oh, probably like a decade. I'm getting old, yo. Like it's been a decade since I've had a water balloon fight. Maybe someday. Who knows, Golden Trunks? That's awesome. It's so cool to push yourself into a different learning environment, especially of the yoga, giving your body and soul time to feel the position and why can be so refreshing. And that can be so refreshing. I do agree. Like I'm really appreciating the yoga as well, especially since I'm doing it alongside the fast. Like my mind kind of like tells me that yes, you're doing these yoga poses and you have to keep yourself in a certain position and you're utilizing muscle and tendons and trying to get out of these tensions, like especially my hamstrings are pretty tense while I'm fasting. So I'm like encouraging my body to eat all the things, melt away all the things that don't serve me. And I'm genuinely and actively telling it, these are the things that are valuable. Keep these things, please. And it feels amazing. Now that sounds like a part of me, right? It was a good time. I've been feeling a little bit disconnected lately, trying to let myself realize that this is another feeling and not a true disconnection. But I'm very excited to be able to join the yoga this weekend, feeling like I need that space and breathing. Just in this moment, Isaac, breathe with me. See this bright glowing orb, and then it has these stuff growing around it. It's all here. It's all here. All you have to do is breathe. All you've ever done is breathe. Every single traumatic event, every single difficulty, every single obstacle, you've breathed through it. Every single breath you take, you're choosing life. Every single breath you take, you're connecting yourself intricately to the rest of this whole. This tree above me is releasing oxygen into the air right now. Whew, me breathing that oxygen in, breathing out carbon dioxide, it taking that carbon dioxide, fusing them with sunlight and turning it into sugars. We are never separate. But I know it can feel that way, Isaac. And just breathing can be the exact way that we connect back with ourselves, with the unity that is. I love you so much, brother Bear. It's okay. You're feeling, and that's what's important. Yoga, practice of calm, gentle awareness, melt, hype as hell. Let's go! Easy, friend. All in good time. So excited for your journey. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm really enjoying it as well. It's been a growing process already. And I feel like the imposter syndrome. Goodness. Oh, it kicks my ass. It kicks my ass, and I was like having extreme imposter syndrome alongside the impatience because I was like, "You're doing yoga, dude. Why are you so impatient?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is not for me. I'm too this and this to be and I'm like telling myself the story, still being present, still paying attention, still listening to myself, not giving any credence to what I'm saying. And then at the end of our yoga session, our yoga teacher training, we're supposed to teach a class, and I have a friend in like a breakout room with me, and she wants to do a pose, and she stands in front of her mat, and I'm like, mountain pose. And she's like, oh yes, mountain pose. And then I'm like, okay. Then as we breathe in, we lift our arms, and then she's like, oh yeah. As we breathe in, we lift our arms. And I'm like, okay. And then pivoting at the hips, we fold down, putting the hands gently on the floor. Okay, and then we're standing there. She's like, no. And I'm like, I'm stepping the feet back. And I like basically guide her through her teaching me how to do the down dog. And then I get the opportunity to teach her how to do the warrior one pose. And in that moment, I'm like, oh goodness, I'm capable. I'm capable. I can do these things that I've been telling myself this whole freaking day that I cannot do. And in that moment, I was like, oh, okay, fine. Like maybe I can do this. Oh, Puppy is shaking. It's kind of cold. It got cold. Like I feel like it's probably because of the small bouts of rain and the wind kind of blowing right now. Short media, love and peace to you, friend. Respect to you. Thank you. So you've always like said all of them. Plur is peace, love, unity, and respect. And this cup is called Ermias. Ermias meaning God uplifts, and plur meaning peace, love, unity, and respect. So every sip I take it with that intention. Thank you. I'm feeling into the journey. I think have so much coming up with the wedding and appointments that has me a little dazed. Just want to be as present as possible, and I'm feeling like I could use a mushy trip in the woods with friends. So, the reason I'm looking up is because I'm looking at this. Man, I don't know if it comes out as well on the camera, but just thinking about a mushy trip, I look at psychedelic things like, tree branches fractaling out, and it just gives me a sense of that, psychedelic vibe as well. So please, Brother Bear, know that you don't need the mushies in the forest. The forest in and of itself will give you the trip as well. So, like, consider that. If you don't have access to mushies, just go to the forest. Just spend some time with the trees. Hey, dangerous Dyson. I have no monkey, but I do have this little sweetheart. Mush, 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 mush. Her little ears flicked. There you go. Where are you from? I can't figure out the accent of your facepalm. I'm from South Africa, friend, but I definitely don't have a traditional South African accent. At least not completely. Thank you for asking. I accidentally made kombucha, and I'm fascinated by how I can create for my microbiome. I feel so powerful. It really is cool, Jovan. My sister is the one doing this right now, making kombucha, making yogurt from our, farm milk. And I'm like absolutely flabbergasted by how capable she is. She's 15 and she has these business ideas to, sell yogurt, to sell kombucha, to sell farm milk. Like, we're genuinely trying on this side of the world. It's not easy, but we're trying. Can I get a spork? What if life gives me something I need a little grip for? Like, you're the one that has the grip, Isaac. You're the one with this grip on reality. And we can do different things to change our grips. Taking mushies, for example, I believe changes our grip, maybe intensifies our grip, our grasp of reality, gives us the ability to experience more slices of it as we're, going through this experience. You already got the grip, Isaac. God of microbiology. Ooh, I like that actually. Jovan, God of microbiology. This sounds like a good time. Wedding time was so overwhelming. I was working 3 jobs, planning everything. It was wild. Hoping you can take some peaceful breaths and nurture breaks to recenter. Thank you so much for that encouragement, Eden. I appreciate that. You can be the Swiss Army knife, definitely. Oh, you need to stab someone, falls into knife blade. Brandish. Brandish me. Huzzah! Brandish me, huzzah! With his pocket knife. Step up, bitch! I dare you to step up. I have a pocket knife. It's like, okay, Isaac. Man, I'm getting goosebumps. It's getting cold. I'm so sorry, Peppy. Oh, so much. She's very comfortable though. I can see you as a spork. For some reason, I feel like sporks give good hugs. Utilitarians. Man, just that's beautiful to me. Just thinking, yes, spork. Would a spork be able to give a good hug? Yes. Yes. Sporks give good hugs. I'm just imagining an alien listening in on a conversation right now, and it's like, but sir, a spork is an inanimate object used for the consumption of foods or soups, preferably at the same time. How could it give hugs? Steve. I'm going to try. A nice walk today will be lovely with some sunshine. I'm excited for this weekend. It's the wedding shower, so having people in the home always makes me feel so alive. Isaac, goodness, dude. How close are you? Like, when exactly is the date, if you'd be willing to share with us? I do love hugs, as do I as well, friend. I'm so excited. I hope it's everything you and Jasmine have imagined it would be. Oh, it will be. Just having them with one another is already so much more than we could ever hope for. Thank you, friend. It'll be exactly how it's meant to be. I wish I could have all of you there as well. You know, I wish I could be there as well. Like, that's the first thing that I thought when you mentioned that you're having the wedding shower. I was like, damn. Yeah. And the mushy trip experience, in the forest. It's like, oh. One day, friend, we're manifesting it actively. It just might take some time. Hey, Katie. Thank you for joining us, friend. I want to have an endgame cutscene moment where I just turn into a giant golden arm and hug the planet, sending us all into the next state of being. Hmm. Okay, so at first there was this pillar and it had these arches on it, and then I was like, I don't really feel like that's worth sharing. And then as I got deeper into it, I saw this golden snake, and instead of it being connected to itself, it had these segments. So it was like snake head, nothing. Golden, like all of it gold as well, like golden section, like little cylinder, nothing, cylinder, nothing, going around the earth. Oh, thank you for sharing that with me, Isaac. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mel. That breath was nice, friend. Thank you for breathing with me, friend. I feel like I'm listening to my own life story, hearing you tell yours, minus the shrooms. It makes me so happy that you were able to break out of that depression much, much sooner than I, and that you are here with us. I'm grateful I'm still here as well, as I am. Grateful to have you here in this moment, grateful to have you here a part of this life experience, Shannon. You deserve to be alive, you deserve to be happy, you deserve to feel loved, you deserve to have enough. You deserve all of these things, and I know all of these things will come to us. I'm so happy that I'm alive. I could have not been multiple times. We could have not have this multiple times. We didn't have this multiple times, and yet here we are in this very moment having it. Infinity. Actual infinity. We have to stop and reflect over where we've been. Going back to the mountain conversation from yesterday, we can look over the boulders that we've climbed, and it's not a question of if we're capable. We're already here. Look where we've been. Oh, goodness. As you're climbing the mountain. Oh, I don't know how to climb mountains. How does one climb mountains? Climbs mountain. How do you climb? Starts googling. How do you climb mountains? Oh goodness, the mountain stream is one that absolutely is going to resonate. Thank you, Jovan. Like Jovan actually shared it with a friend as well, and she also had a genuine sense of resonation with that message. Just dropping in with a friendly time awareness reminder, friend. Thank you for reminding us. It's the mom in me. Quack's finger. Don't be late for class. I'm looking. Actually, there's 2 minutes left, and it feels like the comments have been so perfect that I can read all of them and still go and have my class. And even though it comes along with extremely, like, let me just say, different energies, I think it's perfect in the way that it's been. I wish I could just transport into a spirit form. Wherever Melt Friends needs assistance, I can just materialize and take the form of what needs needed. Oh goodness. I have a can of beans, but no can opener. Ta-da! Isaac appears. Snaps finger. Bloop. Beans open. Snaps finger again. Disappears. I think that would be hilarious. Wedding date is May 20th, so coming on fast. Like it's gonna be 6 days after my birthday, brother Bay. That sounds amazing, man. Good morning. What a beautiful day we've been gifted. What a beautiful day we've been gifted after all. Indeed. Absolutely. Brother Bay, Uncle Becky, thank you for joining me in this moment, for sharing the space, for taking a breath, for, for loving me, for loving yourself. I appreciate you, friends, so much. I have a yoga class to go and attend. I appreciate you for joining me for as long as you did, being in this moment with me. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Oh, truly a grand present to have, especially beautiful now that I've heard from you, friend. Same to you, Isaac. Oh, you, friend. Goodbye, friends.